If they were to make it in the New World, they needed a place to live, food, and clothes. They needed to do all the many other things that people must if they are to survive. Take, for example, the matter of a home. If we had been colonists arriving in the New World, one of the first things we might have needed to do was to find a place to live. We might have lasted for a time in a tent, or if we'd been lucky enough to find one, we might have survived for a while in an abandoned Indian building. However, if we were going to survive and make a go of things, we'd have to build some kind of house. And that would probably mean building, at least in the beginning, a simple home, much like this one. Later on, those who could afford to might build larger, more spacious and comfortable homes such as this one. And in the years that followed, those with the greatest fortunes might even build stately brick mansions. All that, as I've said earlier, would follow many years later. Those of us who arrived in the early years of the colonies, however, set our immediate goals a lot lower. For us, the name of the game was survival. To do that, we needed to build a home as fast as we could, from whatever local building materials we could get our hands on. And that meant felling trees from the thick forest that grew all around us to get the timbers and other lumber we needed. And from the marshes that lined the nearby riverbanks, we cut great bundles of the reeds or marsh grass to make warm, watertight roofs. Along with the timber and reeds around us, we also made use of another resource that was much at hand: mud. When mixed with water, the local clay-rich soil made a thick mud. This we mixed with straw and sand to make a kind of crude mud plaster we called daub. This we used to cover the wattle, or framework of sticks and wood strips we wove between the building's supporting posts. When the daub dried over the wattle, the result was a rock-hard wall, which, with some touch-ups from time to time, would last for years. Windows, as you see, were usually nothing more than a small hole in the wall, often protected by wooden bars and thick shutters. Glass was too expensive for most people, so we sometimes covered our windows with waxed cloth or paper. It helped to keep the weather and the bugs out while letting some light in. And here's what the inside of many of our homes looked like. Most of the time, they had only one room. It was usually 12 feet wide and about 15 feet long. This is where the whole family lived and worked together. Some of our homes also had overhead lofts. These provided a small second floor that we could use for storage. Older children also slept in the lofts, while their parents and younger brothers and sisters bedded down in front of the fire. Notice the packed dirt floor and plain furniture. A simple table and benches to sit on were about all many of us had. There were no closets, so we used chests for storage. We also kept things we used regularly on shelves or hung from the walls. A bed, even as simple as it was a real luxury. Many of our friends and neighbors counted themselves lucky to sleep on a simple corn husk or wool-stuffed mattress on the floor.